a Jackal Fang with the first pick, Sun Wukong, didn't really work out too well for him last game. His team still was able to, or actually, no, excuse me, Jackal Fang did fine with the Sun Wukong. It worked out well for him against Raven, but if they don't want to play against Raven, they could ban it away and see if they can't get another solo pick going their way. They do have the first pick.
Mhm.
Hopefully
What do
in
you
a
think his
second.
first two picks will be?
Not sure. I'm thinking of Wheelix and Poseidon. That was a good combination, and they did well. It's just the rest of their team that needs to step up and start comboing with them well and doing better in their own lanes. Frez and Gabriel got outpushed and outplayed by their counterparts in the dual lane. If they can clean that up and at least stay even, I think Beast and Unknown Player have a better opportunity to try and keep the early to mid game in their hands.
Hmm. And quick shout out to all the fathers that play Smite. Happy Father's Day. I forgot to say that in the first video.
Yes, and all the fathers in the game as well. Odin being the father of Thor. Happy Father's Day to Odin, and I'm sure there's plenty of other daddies, but I don't really care right now. But
Alan
Thor
Toby
going to be
picked up
locked
by
in
unknown
for
player.
Unknown Player. Thor's very good, much more mobile than a Wheelix is. The global ultimate doing a lot more, I think, in the early stages of the game, able to combo better, especially with a good double tap. The Thor play has been a little bit more prominent on console than I've seen on PC, but Thor is pretty easy to hit his abilities, so not surprising to see a player pull this out of their pocket.
And ladies and gentlemen, if the as far as I know, my bans haven't popped up. So if the bans don't pop up in the video, then what we'll do is we'll find out what they banned and just put them in the info section below.
Chrono's going to be locked in for Beast. I think they're going to try a new strategy here. Chrono's not a very good god in this meta right now. The Fatalis being taken away from him was pretty much everything his kit would revolved around. Even with the extra power that he got buffed with, he can't stick to characters like he was able to, and he's pretty easy to catch out as his ultimate. It does have a wind-up time, and if you have the burst available, you can take him out.
I agree. That was pretty much them saying his death warrant.
Absolutely, and looking like they're going to go with very similar drafts right now. Sun Wukong Khepri and Zhong Kui going the way of Cuddly. 3 picks from the last game coming into this one. If it didn't break, or excuse me, if it's not broke, you can't fix it. So, going to go with what's reliable to them right now. Scotty was banned out on the side of Take Notes, however, not wanting Cuddly to get back onto a comfort pick of his. Wheelix was also banned out on the side of Cuddly, not wanting Unknown Player to have the effect that he did in the early game. I think they're going to look to try and end the game a little bit earlier. Last game, I think they worried a little bit. They had a very early game comp between Sun Wukong, Zhong Kui, and Scotty. All 3 characters in the late game do decent, but not as good as a late game god like Ho Yi or Kronos can be. So if they can end the game early, I think that's their best bet.
And like we talked about in the towards the end of that game, Willix was the leading factor in that game, early game for taking notes, and
Absolutely,
it
they
was
did.
definitely a ban. Yeah.
Yes, and I think banning the Wheelix was good. They could have also banned out the Poseidon and kept that combination away from the hands of Take Notes, but one or the other is fine. They just want to weaken the obvious strengths they have in the mid and jungle right now.
And the ban from Cuddly for the Into the Medusa, I'm surprised. I believe Cuddly has like a rank 9,000 Medusa.
Not sure. Medusa's still good. Not fantastic, but on console, again, if your sensitivity isn't up, that stun is going to pretty much kill you or at least force your beads out in order to stay alive. But, you know, it's a common ban, and I'm not surprised to see it.
I agree. I'm not surprised to see the Scotty ban either. Scotty just does a lot of damage with that dog.
Scotty just does a lot of damage, period, and she was very good at keeping Ho Yi under his tower pretty much the entire game. A matchup that clearly tips the way of Cuddly Lion over Frez's Ho Yi, but if you can keep that out of the hands of Cuddly Lion, Frez could still pick up that Ho Yi and see if he can't beat another character that Cuddly has in his arsenal.
And with Ganesh, whoever they pick, as long as they have decent clear, they should be able to clear pretty fast on size of TNG.
Ganesh pretty similar to Khepri in that he can hold a team fight pretty well. He's a bit more aggressive with it and has much more damage in the mid to late game, but Ganesh is a good push god and able to hold characters still by silencing them so they can only walk and they can't dash or use any abilities to save themselves.
It is the most annoying thing ever.
Yes, it is. OG Frost going to pick Chalk. I've seen him play Chalk. Again, they've lost with him, but if you can keep that comfort pick in mind and see if he can't play confidently and try to win the game through the solo lane using a very easy to use god, on her. Going to be hovered on Cupid, looking like he's just going through and hovering on all the hunters right now. Cupid going to be his final choice, locked in. Ability-based damage is Cupid's bread and butter. If he can get ahead early, I think a Cupid would be a pretty good pick to try and lock down a Chalk, lock down a Ganesh, keep Thor from teleporting out, and holding a Chronos still as long as possible. I don't mind a Cupid pickup as long as you have the good early clear to accommodate it, and I think Khepri's a pretty good god for that. And Ratatoskr, not often picked up, but going to be picked up here on the side of Cuddly. Another good early game god. It's a very early game comp they have right now with Khepri able to at least make their late game a little better with the revive, but if they can end the game early, again, that's their best bet. And Rama going to be locked in for Prez, not willing to go after the Ho Yi, which was not banned or picked on the side of Cuddly, but Rama, a good prominent force in the late game, going to get out pushed and out cleared right now by Cupid and Khepri. Has to play reserve to make sure he doesn't get picked off.
And looking at both sides of these bans, do you think that they banned effectively?
I think they banned a little bit more towards the players than they did the meta. Awilix getting banned and Scotty getting banned. They both value the dual lane and the effect dual lane has when they are ahead on a game. But I think very meta bans. They didn't really change things up too much. They just both think they could have won that game and they both think they could have done better. So I think just switching things up a little bit here to try to accommodate for that. But we'll see.
What kind of combos do you expect in the early game? Or actually in the game in general?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. I kind of expect to see the Ganesh do a lot of damage with the Rama earlier with the wave clear and the Rama pierce. I expect to see Ganesh with the charge and get the knockup, Rama to roll in and cripple them, and then them to be able to make some sort of play off that if they're in communication with the Thor who can come out the jungle and just clean up with his spin to win, or his Berserker's Barrage, I believe what it's called. Although I wouldn't be surprised to see if they wanted to go for Rama in the mid lane with Chronos as carry. It's not unusual to see Chronos carry, and it's not unusual as far as I know. As far as I've seen, anyways, I've seen Rama mid lane quite a few times and do quite well as long as the player is competent. Although I don't think that's what they're going to go for here.
I think a Chronos in the dual lane would get eaten alive by a Cupid and a Khepri. He doesn't have a dash or anything to get away from a slow by Cupid. The cripple is also going to slow him down quite a bit. The damage between Khepri and Cupid, if Chronos were to go into the dual lane, it's going to make him suffer, and I don't see him winning that matchup. But it's on Beast, so it should be in the mid lane. Even then, I don't think he wins the matchup against MK Snips either. His early clear is not as good, and his sustain is not as good as MK Snips with that Zhong Kui, so wherever Chronos is right now, he's going to have to play very careful, and if he gets picked off early, he better not be surprised. He's a god that isn't very good right now.
Right. How do you see Beast playing him to win against the Zhong Kui? Like, what would he have to do?
You're going to have to hope that Thor can be there with you pretty often and see if you can't get good combinations on that Zhong Kui. You're not going to be able to do it by yourself. He has passive protections to try and stop the burst that you have, as well as better sustain. So he can clear a wave better. He can be in your face more often, and he can stay out of his well and on the map longer with his sustain. So there's really no clear-cut way for Chronos to win that matchup. He's just going to need a lot of help from his team.
I'm surprised that TNZ didn't ban the Zhong Kui and try to get MK Snipes off of that mid pick, and instead going for the Apollo.
I don't mind that they let Zhong Kui through again. Zhong Kui isn't running the meta right now. It's just a comfort pick right now for MK Snips. So if they play it well, they can still shut it down. They just have to be careful to keep an eye on MK Snips a little bit more and ward a little bit better, as his rotations were pretty good.
I agree.
Hopefully getting into the match pretty soon right now. Alright, now I'm getting into the match. Are you getting in?
Yep, loading in now.
I expect to see just a big early game. If Cuddly can win the early game, unlike last game, I think they're going to roll to a much faster victory, something closer to the 15-minute mark. But I've seen Take Notes have some pretty good early games and Take Notes do some better things. So as long as they just keep to them, as long as they just play safe, I don't see it getting too out of hand. But they do need to make better plays to see if they can get picks where they can get them and take some risks and try and get them to go their way.
I agree. Take Notes definitely learning how to get to that mid and late game without falling behind. Once the mid game came around, Cuddly just started destroying them.
Once the mid game came around, it was the farm game. They did not farm efficiently, and even with the first blood and early advantage they had with kills and controlling the map, it wasn't enough to keep Cuddly down in farms. So they need to clean up their farm game a lot better in order to stick with it.
Right, I agree.
So my UI is not currently working, but I can kind of look around.
Yeah,
at
it
the
doesn't usually
players.
work until you load in.
Yeah, there we go.
Well, seeing these
It's
skins
lagging,
you like.
lagging a little bit for me right now, but no skin violations right now. An early game comp coming out of Cuddly. If they can make good early game plays happen on the side between Cupid and Kepri, get those characters ahead, I think they're not gonna worry so much about the mid and late game, as especially with a Kronos on the enemy team and not very prominent top picks right now for them, aside from Ganesha. But a Ganesha isn't going to be able to carry the game for them, so.
I agree. Ganesh is going to be just a prominent figure in the early game, but he's going to really need a combo with his teammates to become a real driving force. It's going to be communication between them. Like, if Ganesh can pop his ult and Kronos can follow up with that major stun, and Rama or Thor can follow in with ult or something into the large damage from the shock ult, it will be a devastating combo.
It would be a good combo, but they have to make sure that they can get those combos off. There's a lot of disrupt on the side of Cuddly, as they have the stun, the Tiger stun. They have a Ratatasker that can come through the sky. They have the damage and CC coming out of MK Snips. They can interrupt them and their combos that they're going to be going for in any way they want. So they have to be intelligent and try and recognize which ultimates are down and which abilities are down on the side of Cuddly before they initiate. It's just not a very punchy comp on the side of Take Notes. It's very late game. You want to see if you can't beast and Frez, get them ahead, and Gabriel the God not to die, so you can keep all the combinations of characters alive.
I agree.
Just a little bit of boxing right now. Frez getting the better end of it, hitting a few more auto attacks, but the ability damage is still something they have to be aware of at all times. A heart bomb does a lot of damage, especially if you land it onto a God. And actually able to get a little bit of poke onto Frez, already starting that early poke.
Good job by them, out clearing the Zonkoi and the Ratatasker, and then going for their own buff.
Yes.
Surprised to not see the invade, considering the fact of how low Zonkoi and Ratatasker were.
I think they're just going to be playing it safe, as they know their early game is not very good. If a Kronos were to go into their jungle, that'd be an easy rotation for Jackal Fang and Ogambler to just try and pick them off early game.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. But the Chalk would have to rotate too, right? And Chalk in that fight.
I think he would follow, but the early game burst out of Cuddly is going to be much more. Plus, Beast is not that good early game. He has a quick burst of damage, and then he's a sitting duck. He does not have much health.
Yeah, you're right.
Just securing buffs right now and trying to see if they can't push the gold lead their way. Cuddly ahead by only about 100. Nothing prominent right now. Both teams farming pretty evenly, but I think a few more waves are going under tower in mid lane and solo lane to start slipping that gold lead towards Cuddly.
Yeah, unknown player, get what Bracer doing. He did a really good job with that last game.
And already the Oracle is going to be taken by Cuddly. So a little bit of farm and gold heading their way. A little late to respond to his Take Notes. So those neutral camps going the way of Cuddly is going to also start getting that gold lead their way. And the earlier that happens, the faster the game tips their way, and they can start steamrolling to an end.
I'm surprised to see. I don't think many Harpies have been taken. Not like all the Harpies have been taken.
The Oracles have been taken, and looking like Take Note's actually going to be able to get one side of the mid, so at least one neutral camp is going to go their way. Oracles are still bigger, but as long as you can get some win somewhere, you can try and keep your head in the game.
Right. And right now, Take Note is under a little bit of pressure, down the game, but not out of the game.
They're down a game, and it's for sure a bad feeling to feel like you're going to be a little behind. But OG Frost looking like he may be going down. Level 5 for Cuddly, level 5 for Jackal Fang on the Sun Wukong. Going to be ulting, but I think he ulted away and just kept his health. OG Frost going to have to back to base there, get his health back up. Actually going to opt to stay. He does have heals. He does have the heals online. At least at level 4 he will.
Probably looking to be level 5 before he backs.
Yes, he's already level 5, and if he could just keep on using that heal, he could stick with it. He does have good sustain.
And Jackalfang just watching him from the jungle.
I think trying to see if OG Frost is going to make a mistake there, but doing a good job just staying under tower and healing up and not poking his head out too far to where Jackalfang could take advantage of it.
Yeah,
I would think old Gambler would rotate over with the Ratatosker to try and make a play under the tower with it. OG Frost could respond with an ult to it. That'd be a win. Very low on health here. I don't think it'd be a bad idea for old Gambler to use that ult to try and go and make a play over in right lane.
He just keeps coming forward instead of seeing the back of the tower and healing up with those heals.
Gabriel the God doing a good job of trying to keep Frez alive, but abilities are down on the side of Take Notes. If Cuddly Lion and Jintao do a good job, they could probably get a first blood onto that Rama.
Good job by him. Good job by Gabriel to help clear the way with Rama with that really good ability. I am a little out of it.
Sorry about that.
Problems with the headset?
Yes. But they have pressure right now, Cuddly does, and they have a 400 gold lead. If they want to start looking at a gold trade, they probably could. They had the vision advantage on this on their side, and I don't know if Take Notes is going to be improving on that or not.
The early, yeah, the 5 minute. I think the early was 5. Yeah, commonly
Yes.
5. I think your team was taking it at 3 though.
Take it 1 at 3. Oh, the Gold Fury?
Gold Fury. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just pretty big on experienced and skilled teams to start valuing a Gold Fury very early in the game. MK Snip's going to be getting the Oracles for Cuddly, going to get that solo farm to himself and get a little bit more of a lead on the opposing mid laner.
Do you think that Gold Fury ever becomes irrelevant into the game?
The late game, when everybody has full items and full build, full actives, there's really no point, as gold isn't the game anymore. It's who can wipe the other team out and try and finish the game. And I think very, very early in the game, it's pretty risky to do it. If you have sustain, go for it. But if it makes you have to go back to base and lose waves, it's not going to end up being worth it. OG Frost here taking a bit too much damage, going to have to back off. He needs to be very careful and manage his health bar here. He doesn't want to give up first blood like last time. However, unknown player coming in, a double tap as well as a Berserker's Barrage, going to give first blood to unknown player. Similar story to last game, as the early game might be tipping towards Take Notes' favor right now. Only a little bit in the lead in farm, so that first blood isn't going to be super prominent, but it's not something you want to see. Hopefully it doesn't start a trend, a downhill trend for Cuddly.
Right. Cuddly is still 1 game up, and probably still a little bit calmer than Take Notes.
I think they're going to be more confident.
Pressure.
I think Take Notes is also a little too confident. Kronos isn't a good pick. There's no other way to look at it. Kronos is not very good in the mid lane, and picking that is very confident and very cocky. You want to be a game ahead, or at least be very, very good at a Kronos to do that. When you're a game down, it's a risk, and you have to know it's a risk, and not pick characters like that put your team in jeopardy of losing.
What do you have to say about the plays from Sun Wukong out of Jackie Fang thus far?
I think Jackal Fang made a mistake of not backing up a little bit more, and Thor, I don't think he had vision of Thor. He has 2 wards on the side of his map, but I think Thor ulted from the Fire Giant layers, so he didn't see that ultimate coming in and just got picked off. Not much he could have done about it, but had his health bar been a little bit higher, if he'd played a little bit more reserved, I don't think it would have happened.
Jackal Fang definitely did a good job on Sun Wukong otherwise. Really knows how to get the poke in.
MK Snips tried to steal the speed buff, but was able to get that there. Oh, Gambler is there to respond, going to get some damage out onto unknown player, but he had his ultimate back up, so he was able to ult out, looking like he might be coming crashing back down onto the 2 players from Cuddly, but I'm not going to go for that. The Fire Elemental is going to be going the way of Cuddly. Frez, only a little bit of health on him, but Cuddly Lion going to have to stand back and heal up, so both players are going to stay alive. However, Frez is going to be forced to go back to base.
So, what do you think? Take Notes have been doing great about getting first blood. What do you think they're doing right to get these early game aggressions and just get ahead early game?
I'm hoping that they're thinking about farm a little bit more. Again, they're still down. It's about a 700 deficit on their end. They got the first blood, but things haven't changed. They've just been playing a little bit safer, and the risks that they're taking are in places that aren't getting them farm or going or they're not taking risks to try and defend things that would give farm to Cuddly. So, again, the farm game starting to slip away from them. That's exactly what made them lose the last game, as the farm game went from 300 to 400 to 2,000 to 7,000, and they won the game pretty convincingly after they had that lead.
Yep, the gold definitely made the difference for Cuddly.
Absolutely, and it'll make a difference for any experienced team that knows how to play with the lead.
I feel like as long as you stay calm and focus on farm, you can pretty much come back from anything. I know there's quite a few times where Gold Fury has made quite the difference just from being behind, just to get it once or twice.
A little late to check up on those oracles. Cuddly had the right idea to try and go grab those, but Take Notes was there just a little bit faster. Good job by Frez to try and manage those and get those going his way. If he could try and get a lead onto Cuddly, that'd be good.
What do you think the Kronos play so far? How do you think he's been doing as Kronos? Think it's going to negatively impact his team?
He's down by right now. I think he's been sent back to base enough times to where he's in a deficit right now. He has to take into account in every fight that he goes into. Going to be trying to bait out the Gold Fury a little bit here. Take Notes going for an early play. I don't think Cuddly is aware of it. Unknown player going to be ulting into the air. I think just going to see if anybody else is going to be coming, but Take Notes doing a good job of grabbing the Gold Fury at the very last second. I think Jintao and OGambler both had an idea, but now the Gold Fury is down. So good job by Take Notes. They now have a tiny gold lead of only about 300, but at least they have a lead back into their hands.
Gold, it always amazes me how much Gold Fury gives. Just, you know, in general.
It's been nerfed recently, but it's still a good thing to have. It doesn't quite snowball your team to the degree that, you know, something like a Fire Giant would do, or a tier 2 tower, or getting 2 towers at once. But getting a kill right now, Cuddly Lion able to get a return kill onto the Rama, the lead going back in their favor by 300.
Over in right lane, there's just a little bit of poke going on.
Just a little bit of an engagement. I don't think there's any kill potential right now. There's not a whole lot of burst, but having a bit of standoff and seeing if either of them can talk their way into making a big play.
Always looking for that play is a big thing you have to do.
Yes. Jintao was able to grab that speed buff, because walk back to mid lane now.
MK Spence popping his ult and forcing the unknown player to back after doing just so much damage to him.
OGambler ulting into the air right now, looking like Beast is going to be his target. Knocked up now with Beast, but the damage going to be not quite enough from OGambler, except the proc from Bluestone going to finish off Beast 33. Again, that squishy Kronos, that wasn't very hard for him to get that combination off and to get that kill. It was only 2 abilities.
Right. Yeah, with no form of sustain, Kronos is pretty hard to play right now in a really siege-heavy meta. Wouldn't you agree?
I think in a siege-heavy meta, Kronos isn't terrible. He does decent tower damage. It's just his early game is not good, and you can't confirm his damage anymore. He used to have that Fatalis effect where he could float around in a team fight, and he was pretty hard to get. But now that his auto attacks slow him down, he's easy to catch out, and his the burst to kill him is not very much. So you don't have to have much on your team to be able to take him out.
And do you feel like Hasten Fatalis would fix this, or it's just a waste of an item?
I think it would take away too much from his total power. So if you grab a Hasten Fatalis, yes, you're a little bit better in a team fight, but you don't have the power really to punch too hard. However, unknown player going to make a play over in the duel lane. Cuddly Lion dropping the ult to peel for himself. Frez going up to the air. If he can get 2 shots onto him, this should be a kill, but missing all 3. Cuddly Lion able to get out. Using the ult in panic is Jintao. He didn't really need to ult. All 3 shots missed, but keeping his hunter safe anyways. Did a good job of that.
Yep. Good serpentine maneuver by Subby.
But diving in the tier 1 tower. Unknown player still gonna get out, but MK Snips looking like he's gonna get taken out. Frez able to confirm the damage onto the reckless mid laner, and Jintao overstayed his welcome as well. Gonna go down to Beast.
Good plays on the part of Cuddly? Yeah, good part of...
Actually, on the side of Take Notes, Take Notes was able to grab those 2 kills right there and get the lead. Not quite back in their favor, still down by about 600, but getting 2 kills off of Cuddly is good to keep their confidence up and try and keep their heads in the game. They still need to play smart and start keeping farm as a priority.
You know what it is? It's the fact that Cuddly doesn't have their name up there.
They don't have what?
There, if you look in the top right hand underneath the numbers,
Using the ult is Beast. I don't think it was too necessary. He was a little scared there, but again, we're going to use the Beast. He didn't even get stunned, but he was able to get out. No casualties right now, but actives going down as well as an ultimate.
Good play by him. He went in and did a lot of damage though. Unfortunately, it looks like he's forcing at least two players to back.
If unknown player could get a combination out here, I think Gambler is going to have to suffer because of it, but only getting the stun and the first hit from the hammer.
Thor is always has always been such a consistent and good god throughout the
He's probably the most consistent
the,
god. Yes, he's the most consistent jungler right now. Frez in a little bit of trouble here. Looking like Cuddly Lion going to be able to get the last couple of hits. That hard bomb going to be just enough damage for Cuddly Lion to get another solo kill onto Frez. If you can keep a Rama shut down, it's pretty hard for Frez. It's going to be pretty hard for Frez to get back into the game. His damage, especially with just attack speed and crit, isn't going to be very good until the late game when he's hitting his hardest.
Looks like take notes, Rama pinging out that he wants that gank, but it's not getting any attention.
Not sure what he was pinging out there. He's probably just noting the position of his counterpart, trying to see if his team might respond. But for whatever reason, we won't know. Just utilizing the ping to communicate something.
Definitely.
And the first tower of the game going to go the way of Cuddly, able to take out that tier 1 over in duo lane. Cuddly Lion going to be able to freely roam the map and try and make plays. Over in mid lane is where I would start looking. Beast is going to have a hard time to deal with the burst that Cupid provides, and the combinations are going to be much more prominent now, as long as Cuddly Lion can stay consistent and not die.
Definitely a little bit different game from last game, where we saw at 15 minutes just a steep decline of TNZ here.
It wasn't a steep decline, it was gradual, but towards the late game the lead just slowly did get bigger, and at one point it was big enough to where a team fight was able to go the way of Cuddly, and that ended the game. It wasn't a steep decline, but they need to do better. Again, the farm game has been slipping out of them, and it slowly gets worse and worse, and by the time they start doing better, it's too late.
What do you think Take Notes would have to do to prevent this from happening to them again at this point in the game?
I think they already got the first Gold Fury, which is good, so that would be my first suggestion. Keep Gold Fury in check and ward a little bit more. You want more wards around the map. To keep an eye on Cuddly, because Cuddly in a team fight is doing a very effective job. Frez being a victim of that Gambler, Cuddly Lion, and Jintao able to pick up the kill onto Frez. An ultimate coming out of Cuddly Lion, able to get the stun onto Gabriel the God. Beast, however, in the backline, he looked like he was going to take it out, but his ultimate came through. Jackal Fang gonna give him a little bit of poke to say goodbye, but sticking with it is Take Notes.
Cuddly looking for the gold Fury here. Chalk coming in, looking for the steal and re-engaging in this team fight.
I think it's more of a bait right now. Cuddly just wants to see if Take Notes will come and fight them. Getting caught out right now is Beast 33. Again, that's a good target for them to have. Only at half health right now, and nobody very shabby. Everybody having pretty good in good health standing outside of Cuddly. Getting poked out though is Take Notes. They got to be careful about this engagement. Make sure that Gold Fury doesn't go the way of Cuddly.
Yep, and Chalk definitely looking for that chance to steal with his ult. We've seen OG steal before, and he takes it.
Yeah, you're a bit ahead of me. Take Notes was actually able to take that Gold Fury there. Good job by him. OG Frost definitely going to be pretty happy that he got that there, but I think he's going to pay for it with his life. 4 angry members of Cuddly right there to try and back it up. However, Gambler going to be going down, and unknown player able to get another kill. It's falling apart right now for Cuddly.
It was a good combination, good communication by Take Notes. I feel that won them that. The Chalk telling his teammates where he's going to go and which way they were going to come from, and it just really saved his life.
Take Notes finally has a lead in this game. We're looking like they're going to take a tower for their own. The first tower of either game to go down before Take Notes.
No, first tower went to Cuddly.
The first tower went to Cuddly, but their first tower of the set came right there. They didn't get one last game.
Oh, yeah. My bad. I thought you were talking about like, in this game. I was like, what? No.
No. Portal Demon going the side of Take Notes, so that gold lead starting to go their way a little bit more. Right now, it's only about 1,000.
Yeah, that's definitely good objective taken by them. Hoping to see a lot more buffs. Looks like they're missing 2 of their buffs right now, and just things that can be farmed.
Yes. Well, we will see what's moving up by both teams to see if you can't get a team fight to go your way. Cuddly can still get right back in it. They're not that far down in the kill situation. Isn't that bad?
No, definitely. It's only 4 to 5. And both teams seem to be at level with each other.
pretty close in farm for both teams, but I still think Cuddly has a slight advantage with their ability damage. The Cupid is a lot more, actually no, at a deficit to the Rama even with the kills.
Gold Fury in the, I think maybe, no, Rama didn't last hit.
No, I just think it's coming through his staying in lane a little bit longer than Cuddly and the Gold Fury, so I think both just pushed him ahead just enough. A little bit of a group up going on over at the Fire Giant right now. 3-2, an advantage going towards Cuddly right now. OG Frost starting to get poked out, but the ultimate from unknown player is going to be good. Gambler not going to be taking out. The immunity from his ultimate going to be good. Hopefully going to crash down and make an impact. Gabriel the God going to be the target here. Getting picked off is Gabriel the God. Makes Snips able to get that kill there, but a little bit low on health. There are a few members on the side of Cuddly. OG Frost gonna be healing up a little bit here, but I don't think he's gonna be able to survive the onslaught coming out of Jackal-Fang, able to pick him up with the Cuddle. And the third player going down to MK Snips, a team fight going the way of Cuddly. Only two players alive on this side of Take Notes. Cuddly lying over in the dual lane, but if they wanted to, I think they could grab this tier 1 and see if they can't look at a Fire Giant.
Like you said earlier, the the lockdown was real towards the end of that engagement when they were trying to get out of there with the Lion and with the other Suns and Roots. Definitely good job by Cuddly to lock down their opponents and get the kills that they wanted.
Yes, the ultimate coming out of Brahma, missing all 3 shots and able to get a stun his Cuddly Lion to peel for himself. So an ult for an ult, able to bail himself out of that. So no members of Cuddly are dead right now. And the tier 2, in the meantime, in tier 2, excuse me, in solo, the tier 2 going to go down a gold lead right back into their hands now, sitting at a 2,000 gold lead almost. Cuddly Lion, though, over in the solo lane, getting pushed back to his tier 2. I'd expect a response from Cuddly, but looking like they're going to prioritize just taking that distraction and going up mid lane and trying to grab a tower.
Yep, not having the Hunter in the team fight is just really reassuring a lot of times because you had to worry about a lot less damage being put out there.
Yes, all members of Take Notes, though, was spawned back into the game. So again, even in numbers, but Goldie back into the hands of Cuddly. So if they can get another team fight to go their way, I think they can start looking towards the end game and getting a couple more towers.
I agree.
Just a little bit of a group up in mid lane right now, just a little bit of poking, but Jackal-Fang going to be caught out by OG Frost and Gabriel the God using Volt Form to just get himself out of that. Not a whole lot of HP taken, but they're not afraid to aggress onto him, and that's good information to have.
Yep. What do you think went wrong in that last team fight for
they got picked off. They got picked off one by one. Cuddly had a man advantage. It was 3 versus 2, and after they took out one and backup came for Take Notes, that player was able to get taken down as well, as the advantage was always on the side of Cuddly.
Take a quick look at builds. We think of the Cupid build with Odysseus bow. Do you think Odysseus bow is still really relevant?
It's gaining popularity as builds right now are pretty high in power, especially with the Shifter Shield. And Odysseus bow, every 4th attack is going to deal about 25% of your physical power plus the base damage that it provides. So it's not a huge jump in your auto attacks, but it does add extra damage. Plus 40% attack speed is pretty good.
Yep. A lot of people tried to replace Odysseus bow. I mean, no, Golden bow with Odysseus bow though.
2 completely different items. Golden bow is just overpowered in general. It wasn't known until everybody started using it, but Golden bow deserves to get removed from the game. It needs to be reworked and nerfed a lot more. Odysseus bow, though, a different breed of animal, pretty similar, but not very overpowered. A pretty balanced item. Jackal-Fang looking like he's going to have to ult to regain his health back. A big fight breaking out between the 2 teams. Cuddly on the worst end of it right now.
Unknown player still getting a kill after ulting.
And unknown player able to get a kill onto Cuddly Lion. The next victim, Jackal-Fang, going to go down to a hit from OG Frost. 2 players down on the side of Cuddly. A team fight not going their way. Take Notes coming back into this game.
What time are you at?
I am at 22:26. Tao getting caught out a little bit, not taking much damage. He's pretty tanky right now, but Take Notes showing that they're not to be messed with right now. Going for the Portal Demon, not a whole lot of damage on this side of Cuddly to try and contest it, and Take Notes able to grab that Portal Demon. And stunned out. Jintal looking like the damage is going to be too much. Beast able to get another kill. He has a killing spree right now, making the Chronos look a lot better than I would have predicted. And looking at the Fire Giant now is take notes.
These team fights have been just going back and forth. And here comes Rat.
Oh, Gambler looking like he might try and make a play onto them. They're all jumping off the Fire Giant. They don't want him to steal it. Opting just to go and get a little bit of damage onto Beast, forcing out the bead, so not a bad trade right there. Especially with players respawning, you have 10 seconds until you have your 5th player online, so take notes. I don't think they're going to be going for that Fire Giant anymore. They didn't have the advantage, so good job by Gambler just straddling it and keeping things on their side.
And Rat going in and backing out after doing some damage to Gabriel.
Did some damage to Gabriel, but OG Frost came in through the portal, and that was plenty enough reason for him to back off.
Yeah, especially that they didn't know the pillar was right there though.
Yes.
Could have ended badly for them.
It could have ended badly, but I don't think it was any risk being taken by either team. Gambler on Ratatasker just very mobile and doesn't really have to worry about getting out of a fight, as he could just Aegis and dash out if he needed to.
We haven't seen much Rat this season, but where do you think he belongs right now in team comps?
He's an okay character. He's very early game based. He has good stuns, good CC, and good burst damage. But other players just do other gods do a lot better right now. The burst going to be almost enough to take out Beast. Beast coming back to full health, and take notes, bringing the team fight right back into their hands. Frez and Unknown Player both getting kills, but Beast able to get a kill for himself. That's 3 players down on the side of Cuddly. Jackalfang looking like he's going to be the next target right now. Cuddly Lion going to be getting a lot of damage done to him by OG Frost. Not looking good on the side of Cuddly. They had a good chance of winning this game earlier, but take notes, waiting until that late game and looking like their late game is starting to come online as 3 members went down on the side of Cuddly in one fight.
And now this is going to be the time for Take Notes to take Fire Giant if they want to.
If they want to take Fire Giant, I think that's what they should be doing right now, is splitting off and starting the Fire Giant. OG Frost going to the Fire Giant, waiting for his team to come respond. And Frez going to get a kill onto Jackalfang. A player spawned in, Jintao spawned in, but I don't think it's going to be enough to try and make a contest for that Fire Giant. Both players just now coming out of the well.
If Rama's being built properly, he should be able to Notez relatively quickly.
Yes, sitting at 9% and taken down. Take Notes has the Fire Giant on their side, only about a 600 gold lead, but with the Fire Giant on their side, I think taking those last 3 towers as well as contesting a Phoenix is very possible for them right now.
Yeah, no, Take Notes. Gonna have a hard uphill battle here, but with the Fire Giant, it should be easier. What do you think that changed in this late game here that put them in this 7 to 12 lead?
I think Beast did a good job just playing as safe as possible and not dying. I don't think Cuddly played onto Beast as much as they should have. That's just a risky pick to let a Chronos be on your team, and Chronos is easy to catch out, but Beast playing it, I think, as well as you can against a team like Cuddly that does a good job of catching people out.
And is there any possibility that Chronos was? How did the Chronos beat the Zonkoi, do you think?
I think MK Snips actually didn't have a bad game either. He rotated around and he made effects, but a lot of picks going the way of Beast. I didn't see him in one fight sustained for a long time, 100 to 0 somebody, but getting picks and able to get ahead and farm, coming to that point in the game where he is going to be able to melt people. He doesn't have the Fatalis to stick to people, but as long as he has the CC, he should be able to do his job.
I agree. And a Sentry Ward on Gold Fury by Cuddly.
Cuddly Lion has his dash down. Just one more auto attack should be able to do it from OG Frost or Frez. OG Frost going to come in and grab it. So the first kill of this engagement going the way of Take Notes, but sticking with it is Cuddly, seeing if they can't make a play. A 3-man knockup for Rat, able to dash out. An ultimate wasted by OG Frost there.
What do you think happened? I think Chalk just kind of panic ulted, expecting you
I think he did.
Team to come back in.
He just assumed that Rat didn't have the ult or didn't think about it.
Yeah. Looking for that kill instead of the objective.
Had the dash, not the ult. I think I said ult.
Yeah, you said ult.
That's alright.
I think everyone got what you meant.
Sort of straddling, seeing if he doesn't want to come in right now. The tier 2 gonna go the way of Take Notes. 1 tower out of 4 that they could be getting. Frez able to get another kill. Another player gonna have to take a nap in the well for a little bit.
That Fire Giant buff just really playing a big part in that HP 5 regen, along with the damage output that they're doing now.
Yes.
Do you know the specific specs of it?
Specs of what? Fire Giant buff?
Yeah, Fire Giant.
They get power, they get regen, and they get additional damage to objectives.
What's the stats on it? Like what?
I think it's
like
20.
20%?
I think it's 20 power. I think it's 20 power. I know it's flat power, but
Okay.
I actually don't know the exact numbers. I should know. That's embarrassing. But I know it gives you power, regen, and you do additional damage to objectives.
I just know it's a Fire Giant and it looks really cool, and it looks really cool to kill it at this point.
Portal Demon also going to get melted by Take Notes. They have Volt the Fire Giant. They just want to keep every opportunity for Cuddly to get back in this out of their hands. Gambler rushing onto right lane. Ofrez able to dash out of that. Gambler in a little bit of trouble here. He doesn't have his dash, but he's going to use his ultimate to get out instead. Good job by him.
This team regrouping and under tier 2 here, looking to stop this push.
Unknown player going to get an ult into the back line onto Cuddly line. If he can get a burst, Cuddly line going to go down to unknown player. Looking like this is going towards the end of the game for Take Notes, doing a good job of holding on to their lead.
And the difference was that they got all the major objectives, a lot of the major objectives this game.
Yes, actually pushing up mid lane right now is MK Snips going to see if he can't solo a Phoenix, but a Phoenix is going to go the way of Take Notes, so at best they come out even.
Wait, what do you mean?
Looking for it here. And he's going to use the slow as well as his ultimate to try and peel himself away from Frez. Not going to quite have enough damage onto Frez to get a kill, but not going to get a Phoenix, and that in turn makes it a win for Take Notes.
Yeah, Take Notes getting the Phoenix and not losing anyone as far as I can tell.
Nope. Still have all three of their Phoenixes online, plus the tower.
Yep. And middle Phoenix looking pretty low. Was
their middle Phoenix was low. MK Snips was the one pushing mid lane to try and grab that and see if they can't break even, but it did not work out. I think Take Notes are just going to go back to base, grab their final few items, regroup, and try and push for the win.
It definitely seems like that.
I don't think there's anything
so what do you think went wrong here for Cuddly?
I think MK Snips going down mid lane to grab that Phoenix was a mistake. He had no chance of getting that Phoenix. And even if he did, it puts them down a player to defend at the base. So had he been there at the base, they might not have lost that Phoenix as his damage and play enough to keep them from it.
Yeah, his ult definitely a zoning tool. It makes a difference, especially with that stun. He can hit like 2 to 3 people. I think it's an arc or is it just around him? I'm not quite sure. I don't actually play him, but that stun can be really viable in the fight. Just stopping big plays from happening and letting your team engage on them and change the flow of the fight into your favor. As we got into the mid game, though, I feel like Take Notes did an excellent job of zoning out Cuddly on those major objectives with the fight. They lost, I think, one fight in the late mid game there, where they went down 3 players, and Take Notes was able to, take take Fire Portal off it, but not take Fire Giant, having to back off as the other team spawned in. It was really a good play by them to recognize when to engage, when not to engage towards that late in mid game. I feel like that's a huge buff to them, a huge important thing that a team needs to learn. I feel like they learned that in this first few scrims and weeks. Wouldn't you say?
I think they've gotten better at choosing their battles, and I think what the difference was in this game is that their team fight came together a lot better than I predicted, and the Beast dealt a lot more damage this game than I thought he would. So a good job by them surprising me and using picks to their advantage that I didn't think would go their way.
Yep. Do you think the Rat was detrimental to Cuddly at all, or did he?
I don't think it was detrimental, nor do I think it was a bad pick. I just think that there were better options available. They were trying probably just to go for a cheese win. A little bit too confident in getting a big team fight, though, breaking out right now. Nobody dying. On this side of Take Notes, a couple ultimates going to be used by them first, but Cuddly is no worse for wear. If they can grab a couple picks, I can see this going their way. Jackalfang able to get out using the bull form, excuse me. The first kill going to be going the way of Beast. And Cuddly Lion able to get out. MK Snips, however, coming in with a return kill. But nobody there to help him except Kepri, able to use his ultimate onto MK Snips and get there for 5. However, Frez, just a couple of critical strikes are going to be able to take out MK Snips, so just a 2-for-1 trade right now. Not terrible,
Yep,
but
two for one.
I think if Take Notes played that a little safer and didn't get stuck out in their jungle, I think fighting in the jungle is a pretty bad place to be if you're in the lead, as it's a lot easier for a team standing in the lane to funnel you out and get kills.
Do you think Take Notes will try to go for this mid tower with two of the enemies down? Or
I think right now they're going for the Fire Giant. Nobody from Cuddly was there to stop the Fire Giant, so hey, why not?
And they get it again. Good job by them to get 2 Fire Giants in this game.
Good job by them to grab that Fire Giant. I don't think Cuddly, even if they knew that they were grabbing that Fire Giant, they didn't have anything online to try and steal it, and it was just suicide to go and walk into that lair against a bunch of fed players.
Yep.
Hopefully Take Notes is going to push for the win right now. That Phoenix just came up on the side of Cuddly.
Mm-hmm. And I believe that Phoenixes and towers have a direct power correlation to Titans. I'm not quite sure what that.
They don't have
a
power correlation. The more Phoenixes and towers you take down, the lower health and protections the Titan has.
Which is why rushing from behind is like so. Loki backdooring doesn't work that well. That's why.
It can. If you have enough penetration on the god, it does work. Plus, if you have a lot of minions in there, the minions actually last a pretty long time against the Titan, as his damage is pretty great, but it comes out pretty slow. So, backdooring can work, but it isn't very common, as these late game fights are usually with 5 versus 5, everybody grouped up, and it's pretty hard to have an opportunity to go split push anyways.
Take Notes taking that tower really quickly with that Rama doing the amount of damage I'd expect out of Rama late game.
Yes, Frez came online pretty good, and he's doing a lot better at in this game than I saw him in the last. In the last game, he never made any prominent plays, but I think Rama is a little bit more comfortable with him. His team making it very easy for him to get the critical strikes and damage off to do good.
Rama looking for his backdoor in mid, just melting it absolutely.
Yes, with that Titans being online, it was able to easily melt that Phoenix over in the right lane, though that Phoenix looking like it's going to be going down pretty soon. And a second Phoenix going for Take Notes. Gabriel the God going to get caught out by Cuddly Lion, getting the last hit. Frez taking a couple too many shots from that left Phoenix, but Gambler going to be able to pick up a kill onto Frez. That's 2 kills for the side of Cuddly. Looking like nobody else
map awareness by them. Looking at that left Phoenix, he's in that team fight. Good job by Gambler to recognize that and go in on him.
Yes, they don't have their Hunter up there with them right now. If Cuddly were able to get up there and make a little bit more of a difference, I think they could have gotten maybe another kill, but right now just a 2-0 trade. Cuddly happy that they were able to get the 2 kills, but they're still sitting on 2 downed Phoenixes and another Phoenix sitting at 50% health, so they have to play a very defensive minded game.
Yep. Once this Rama comes up, I feel like Take Notes is going to look for that final push and go in. With 2 Phoenixes down and fire creeps fire creeps pushed back actually quite far.
I think as long... Excuse me. I really should be more well rested for a game, but I think as long as Frez doesn't die early in the fight, they should have an easy time winning the team fight and going for the end. A Portal Demon going the way of Cuddly, but not very useful. They were all in base anyways, no chance of going and grabbing that for themselves. If they could just group up and push down mid lane and see if they can't win a team fight and go for the end.
Everyone in Cuddly all but full built, just like lacking the last tier of their items, it looks like in most case scenarios. But that one tier can make a huge difference.
Yes, I think both teams are pretty even. The farm is only a 6,000 gold difference, which isn't very big. It's going to be a little bit bigger. Take no 60 gold fury, but for most of the game, Cuddly did have the advantage. So their farm game isn't what is winning them this game, but the damage out of Frez and Beast able to come through pretty strong and take a little bit of pressure off of Unknown and off of Unknown player and OG Frost in the solo lane. So they have to just keep doing their thing and let Frez and Beast do a good job of outputting the damage required.
So as we get into this, it's just going to come down to pure raw skill here, with everyone almost full built and everyone at the same.
I think everybody playing their best right now. Take Notes still has the victory. Their late game's a lot better. A lot of damage though coming out from both sides. A lot of health. Beast actually going to be the first to fall. A couple of low healths on the side of Cuddly, but overall they have the advantage here. If Frez can get taken out too, that'd be monumental. Cuddly Lion able to grab Unknown player and still pursuing the fight. Jackal Fang going to try and weave here and grab a stun onto Frez. Gabriel going to eat that instead.
Cuddly doing a great job of defending.
They did a good job of defending. Again, another 2-0, and that's going to force Take Notes to back off once again.
I feel like Cuddly feels like I feel like there's a way that Cuddly can come back into this.
I think there's easily a way too. It's not so big of a difference in gold that you have to give up or think about the next game. They could get back into it, and it starts with both of their Phoenixes responding and grouping up. Once you have full builds, which almost everybody has full build on both sides, so it's going to come down to a team fight, and 2 team fights in a row going their way, even with Phoenixes being dropped in the first one. That second one, it just proves that they can go 5 versus 5 and come out on top as long as they play to their best level.
Yep. Cuddly looking for this fire giant here.
I think they're just going to try and bait out, take notes, but Jackalfang a little bit too low to make anything happen. OG Frost's going to go in and see if he can't get a pick. Jackalfang maybe taking a bit too much damage there, but MK Snips is going to come in and back him up a little bit. The OG Frost's going to be expending his ult there, and Mix Snips able to grab a kill into Prez. 3 kills on the side, or excuse me, 2 kills on the side of Cuddly. Going to look like they're going to be going for a third. Gabriel the God, but Jackalfang going to be going down to the damage, except he's not, because MK Snips is going to peel out for him. The burst going to be hopefully enough to grab Gabriel, but Unknown Player going to go in and try and back up his characters.
Let's not lose time.
And Mix Snips getting his 3rd kill, or his 2nd kill of that engagement, 3rd kill of that team fight. All 5 players standing on the side of Cuddly.
Do you think Cuddly can make the play here and go down, just rush down and take this Titan, or are they too low?
Yeah, they're too low, plus there are still 2 players alive on the side of Takedowns. I think the Fire Giant is going to be the correct call here. Unknown Player definitely doesn't have his ultimate online here, but if they can turn on him and burst it down, I think after taking him out, they can grab that Fire Giant. He's going to be making the play onto it here. But able to secure the Fire Giant is Cuddly. A very close game right now. Doing a good job. Yep. They were 2 Phoenixes down. They were 2 Phoenixes down. The Phoenixes are up right now, and they're winning fights. 4 players are still in the well on the side of Take Notes, and they're healing up.
What do you think changed for Cuddly in this late game? Do you feel like they took a second, calmed themselves down after that sudden takeover by Take Notes, and just wanted to take a second to reevaluate themselves and came back with level-headed?
I think that could be a factor, but I also think that in a 5 versus 5 without any factors like the jungle or the Phoenix, they have a better team fight overall. Even if their characters aren't better in the late game, they're a little bit more experienced and a little bit more comfortable with each other than Take Notes are.
So Cuddly going to be looking for this this fight soon. I'm sure with this Fire Giant.
I'm thinking as long as they group up, MK Snips is probably going to try and get as many stacks as he can so we can go in, and he's been very good at consistently bursting down Beast and Frez, knocking them out of the team fight early so they can pick off Unknown Player, OG Frost, and then go for the backline.
Every fight that Beast has been taken out of early, Take Notes has just lost. I feel like if Cuddly targets down Beast again, they will definitely
I think it just starts with getting a pick on whoever gets themselves caught out. Gabriel the God could be that target here. Not going to go in it right now, so it's looking like just a 5 versus 5 grouping right now. Over in the jungle is OG Frost going to see if he might get caught out here. Looking like he will be. The damage from Cuddly going to be enough to almost grab him. The Bracer of Undoing is going to come in big here and turning around now with an ultimate to knock him up, but not going to be enough to make that big of a play off of. However, MK Snips going to be going hard into the mid lane. Gambler going to get the first kill onto Beast. MK Snips, the revive going to be coming out from Khepri to try and ensure his life.
And that's middle Phoenix for Cuddly.
MK Snips going to be going down. Unknown Player though out of place. Cuddly able to grab that kill onto him. Frez back in base to try and heal up. They don't have him in the fight right now, so if they can get another pick, this should be an easy avenue to try and grab another Phoenix and end the game.
Where's Cuddly? Oh, and there he is.
Jackalfang going to be going in and trying to keep Frez out of the face of the team right now. That second phase is going to get melted down here. Hopefully this will clean up a little bit. You guys can actually see what's going on.
You're lagging too, okay.
Yes.
Your Titan's under attack.
4 members
Cuddly
on the side of Cuddly.
Doing a great job coming from behind here.
Doing a good job from coming from behind and also making sure that, yes, they have the advantage in the team fight, and they've been using it, especially with that Fire Giant buff on their side. That's a big difference in power, and it showed. They were able to take out Beast and Unknown Player, both players who are able to usually keep themselves pretty safe and alive, but right now, failing to do so. Frez going to have to use that Beast right now. Gabriel the God getting low himself. I think the damage from Cuddly is a little bit too big right now. Gambler able to use his ultimate. He might re-engage here and go for the kill.
Keep it targeting
that third Phoenix getting pretty low, and it's going to go down, so now that Phoenix is no longer a factor. Cuddly might be willing to stay and stick with it here. all 5 players spawned on the side to take notes, so I wouldn't be surprised if Cuddly were to back off here. Jintao going to be going down. I think that's not a bad trade considering you were able to get 3 Phoenixes on your side. Cuddly Lion also going to go down. That's going to hurt them pretty bad. Hopefully nobody else gets caught out here, and everybody pretty safe right now, but you don't want to take notes to have an advantage and be able to defend themselves.
What was Cuddly doing? He turned around and could have just run away. He popped his ult and took a run.
I think he just got a little bit too confident in what he was able to do. He's nothing without his team and a Cupid late in the game. Yes, his abilities are going to hit pretty hard, but he's still building a bit of a hybrid build with attack speed, so you can still catch him and take him out.
So what do you think of his build? Mentioning that.
His build with the Odysseus Bow and the Fatalis and the Titan's Bane, he has plenty of penetration, plenty of attack speed, and plenty of power. Just no crit right now. I think as long as he stays grouped with his team, his ability damage is going to come through, and the auto attacks are going to shred through everybody on the side to take notes.
And
looking like they're going to try and catch him out over in solo lane. Fred's going to be targeted by Ogam. They're going to get the stun, and the burst almost going to be enough. Having to use that Aegis. Bluestone might be enough to take him out. One auto attack from O'Gambler going to be what takes him out. Unknown player opting to just ult out of that and not try and take on 3 players.
Yeah. No, quick note that Sun Wukong didn't have Bluestone. He had Mystical Mail.
That is true. He has, they all have their starter items. Well, I thought he had Bluestone, and that Bluestone tick would be what killed him. But one auto attack from Ogam are going to be what it did anyways. Ripping up right now. That Portal Demon, big risk, but it looked like actually Cuddly was able to grab the last hit onto that. I didn't think they would. Jackal Fang caught out here, but Beast going to be taken out before his ultimate can save his life. And looks like the team fight is falling apart on the side of take those 5 members of Cuddly are going to be roaring through the jungle trying to take out OG Frost here. Going to get pulled by Jintao, who's been great with the CC. Giving up the fight is OG Frost, knowing he's going down to 3 members of Take Notes. Already gone. Gabriel the God looking like he's going to be the next victim of the onslaught coming out of Cuddly. Coming back from an early game to mid-game deficit, looking like Unknown Player going to be standing between them and a victory. Charging into the Titan's lair right now. All 5 members of Cuddly going to be going in. Unknown Player going to try and stop the inevitable. The Titan going to be going down to the damage coming out of Cuddly. Good job from them coming back from 2 Phoenixes down to go and take out Take Notes in a 2-0. 2-0, excuse me.
Right. And that's going to be a good second game by Take Notes. Take Notes definitely learning from the first game. Like I said in the league, that learning curve is huge and almost winning against a favored team in the league.
A favored team in the league, a team that has a bit of a chip on their shoulder, knowing that they could easily, just as easily be 2-0, able to at least even their record at 2-2 right now. Going to set their sights on the next week and see if they can't get to 4-2 before this split is over, and they can go into week 4 with a bit of a lead and not have to worry so much about where their record is standing as right now. Take Notes, however, on their heels right now. They're only 1-4. If they want to come back and be contenders, they're going to have to try and find more picks onto the big teams. But overall, a good game by both teams. Take Notes could have easily won the second game, and it could have gone to 3, but Cuddly able to collect themselves and take the team fight advantage in their way. This has been Tyner57 and the Reaper casting a great set and the beginning of week 2 of the PlayStation Smite League. Thank you so much for watching.